We want to thank you for being here. We recognize the commitment that you're taking to pursue excellence. You're just one step closer to achieving success. And the Institute is here to help at every step, wherever you are in your business journey. We've helped thousands of shops over decades and across the nation, from service advisor and manager training to a shop that's just starting out, or even those who are planning their growth, scaling from 10 to 20 to 30 locations. Those that are preparing for private equity sale, or even those that are succeeding their business to the next generation. The Institute and our many coaches with years of experience, both from inside and outside the industry, are here to provide education and tools to get you on your way. You do not have to do this alone. We hope you enjoy the content to come for a better business, a better life, and a better industry.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, or good night, depending on when and where you're joining us from today. It is a gorgeous day outside here in St. George, Utah. We are entering into the 90-degree temperatures per day, which is awesome, especially if you like the heat. And if you don't like the heat, then it's not so awesome. Very quickly, we'll be cresting over that 100-degree mark very, very quickly. And then the next thing to look for is 105 and 110. Anyways, enough about the weather. So excited to be here with you today. Excited for this conversation that we're going to have, which is all about marketing, which is all about your shop and how things have changed yet again. If we go back in history, we start back with the blacksmith. The blacksmith in town was the gentleman or the lady that was working on your wagons, would create wagon wheels for you. Somebody came along and created the automobile, and the natural person to fix those things was the blacksmith. Go down the road a few miles, and what happens? Somebody invents the telephone, and there's a knock at the front door from a salesperson selling you advertising on a phone book. The phone book, because there's a device called a telephone going to be in every household. Well, don't worry about that. My customers, they just come down and see me. Go down the road a few more miles. We're going to create something called the web, and it's going to be in the cloud. Your customers are going to search you on a computer. Oh, my customers, they call me on the phone when they need me. They come down to the shop. Well, it's going to change yet again. For our discussion today, it is going to be amazing as we talk about what's happening in the wide, wide world of the internet and the interwebs that are out there, with us working together to keep our customers safe on the road. I'm so excited to have our guest today. Our guest today is Dan Vance from Shop Dog Marketing. Welcome, Dan. How the heck are you, brother? Your camera's buffering. Oh, technology at its greatest. I don't see Dan. Does anybody else see Dan on here? Oh, man, this is awesome. Awesome. Here we go. Oh, Dan, you're on now. I see you on camera. Do you have audio up? Oh, my goodness. Well, we'll give a couple more shout outs while we're on here. Melissa at Burke's Transmission Service in Sarasota, Florida. Dan, can you hear us, brother? I don't know if we do now. Rich Lucas. Oh, Rich from Lucas Tires. Am I the only one not hearing Dan? He is frozen. Thank you, Rich. Dan Vance might need to go the way of Windows and restart that computer. You know, that's a funny thing. And it happens when you do live events. Oh, Dan, you're back. You're moving. Do you have sound?
I'm here. I thought I've been here the whole time. Yeah. I'm hearing you great.
Okay. Yeah, you were frozen there for a minute. Dan, thanks for being here, brother. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. So happy to be here.
Good.
Really.
Oh, good,
and
good.
Even more now that I wasn't even here. Exactly.
Yeah. You were here, but you were frozen. So it was like that buffering mode, right? So glad you're here. One more shout out
frozen face.
Yeah, you were frozen face for a minute. Betty Ortoro from Greg's Auto in Florida. Betty is here as well. Thank you, Betty, for joining us.
Betty.
Hey, our conversation today, we are going to be deep diving into AI and how AI has changed marketing. I love marketing. I love the process of marketing of, it's like a fishing where you try a different lure, you try a different lure, you try a different bait. And then once you find that thing that works, man, you just able to sink in and that works really well. So Dan, AI has changed everything. Got a quote from Google's CEO. Want to read this real quick and get your feedback on this. It's not a quote. This is a summarization that in Google's CEO's last announcement. Google CEO highlighted some massive AI adoptions. 480 trillion tokens processed monthly. That's a 50 times increase over last year. 400 million Gemini app users. And Gemini is the Google app users. And over 1.5 billion, 1.5 billion monthly AI overview users. So these are people that are using, but they don't have the app downloaded. Like myself, I use Gemini, I use ChatGPT. I do buy the ChatGPT, but I don't buy Gemini. So I'm one of those 1.5 billion using Gemini, but I'm not registered, right?
Yep. It's crazy.
So yes, I mean, we knew this was coming. We knew it was going to hit. Now the ripples have happened, and it's starting to even out a little bit. Years ago, we would talk about using AI, trying it out, test it out, see what you can get. AI was learning. It's still learning. We were creating pictures and artwork and puppies with 6 toes, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, exactly.
How has AI changed marketing, Dan?
Well, the truth is we don't know because it's just moving so quickly, but it is changing things. And I think this would be a great time to just share a quick example of like stuff that's even surprising us is when a client calls us and says, "Hey, I just got a car in from somebody that found me in Grok, which is Twitter's AI language model." And what they had done, they were at the dealership and they went in and decided they didn't want to do business with the dealership. And they said, "Who in this town can fix Subaru transmission?" And this client came up as the only option. And they called him
Oh my
and got the
word.
car in. And what's so credible about that is that there was no reviews. There was no cross-checking or looking who else was an option. They just picked up the phone and they called and booked an appointment. So that's just an unbelievable example of how AI is changing our experience with the internet and collecting data and making decisions. And we're going to see a lot more of that.
Oh, it's so true. And to reiterate this with you, Dan, there was 10 years ago. 10 years ago? No, it wasn't 10 years ago. A few years ago, 4, 5, 6 years ago, was going out with my soon-to-be son-in-law, and he says, no, we can't go to this restaurant. And he was basing that on reviews. It was Yelp reviews, Google reviews. The restaurant that I really like to go to, he says, no, they got a 3.5. I'm just not going in there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Where are we going then? So it's gone from father knows best, friends know best, reviews know best, and now AI knows best.
Yes.
And here's a client that didn't even check reviews, didn't check with anybody else, just brought the car right on down because Twitter said it's the best place for Subaru transmissions.
Yes. Yeah, and I don't know what his repair order was on that, but people that are listening would know, and it was healthy. And as a marketer, I'm just like, that is pretty sweet because being able to stand out, to be isolated as the best option is an incredible win. And so I think that's another thing that AI is going to provide. And we can talk more about how it's doing it and how cool this is for auto repair shops. But we're going to see a lot more of that for sure.
Well, and then let's dive into that, Dan, because I anytime you can be the only solution, it's always great to be the guy selling guns when you show up to a knife fight.
Yes. Yeah.
If you are the only solution, if you are the only one being recommended, how can I do that more often?
Yeah. Well, I've been talking about this a long time, how
Yeah.
the internet has become more of a search personalization. And so this idea that, I need to market to search engines by ranking for keywords is actually very old thinking, because back in 2012, Google made a shift to categories. And on your Google business listing, it's a category, it's auto repair. So I like go to the library and I go into fiction, and there's 100 books or 1,000 books under that category. And so the thing the internet's been doing is it's been taking people that match up with that category, and the things that you're telling the search engine that you like to work on, like Subarus, and it starts to match those people to you, especially in a local environment. It's called search preference. It's been around a long, long time, and now we're seeing AI just take that to the whole new next level, because it's completely preferenced around you. They know a lot about you. They know things that you've been asking, concerns that you have, um, a whole gamut of things, and then it can pull all this data from the internet and give you very quickly the perfect match. And
Okay,
really, this,
so what I'm hearing, and I want to summarize this just a little bit to make sure I
Mhm,
keep up with where you're going, because AI is changing so quickly. It's
yeah,
taking software from a 3 month life cycle to, it feels like almost like
yeah,
monthly, weekly,
yeah,
daily.
uh,
Daily things are changing in
very
this
true.
AI cycle. Okay, so everything that we've done in the past, everything that we've done for marketing and reviews and social media and public outreach, that has all gone into what AI is discovering today. Do I understand that right?
That's correct.
Okay.
Like, all the things you've been doing are good and healthy, and you haven't lost that.
Okay. Is there a but that goes along with that?
Yeah. The but is that we need to do better as marketers, whether we're an agency or as a shop owner, to accept the responsibility to know who our best client is and start
Okay.
marking around that person. So, you
So you
know,
need to know your avatar.
you need to know your avatar. And if you put more energy into that, AI will perform better for you as people get more comfortable with using that as a channel to find you.
Okay. So when we talk about our avatar, are you talking about the cars that they drive? Meaning,
Mhm,
I really like working on Ford F-150s.
mhm.
Anything Ford, Chevy, Dodge, that's in my wheelhouse. Do I focus on that, or do I focus on my ideal client, which is fleet vehicles, construction workers, that type of truck?
Yeah. Uh, it's a great question. And I would say the first thing anybody needs to do is first say, what problem do I solve? And why am I really good at it? And because there's lots of people that do fleet or BMW or whatever it is, right? What problem do I solve in my local market, and why am I the best? Why am I unique about doing that? And
Okay.
then start building things around that that support that. Like, not only am I really good at fixing BMW, but that type of driver, that type of owner, I get along really well with. We resonate. We have commonality. They're my best customer. And the reason they're the best customer is because of the income they make, where
Right.
they live, how new their vehicle is, how many vehicles they have, the whole list. So you build out a customer profile on demographics about them, and then you build out a profile about the vehicle and why you're so good at it. So it's two sides of the same coin. I'm understanding who the client is and their demographics, and I'm understanding my side about the problems that I fix and how it ties to that customer. And
Love it.
this is marketing 101. It's been around for 100 years, but a lot of people that get into the internet, because it's so simplified, we forget some of those basic principles. But it's going to be a core driver for how AI works in helping bring local business, as we see more and more of that. Those two things. What do I
That's
really do, and why am I really awesome at it? And who's that customer that really loves what I do? Who
yeah.
are they?
No, that's so true. That's so true. And when we're sitting down thinking about this, is there any tools that we can use that will help a shop owner? Because I run into a lot of shop owners, Dan, that really struggle with what's my unique sales proposition? What's my USP?
Mhm.
What makes me different than my competition? What is it that I do solve? Is there anything that an AI can help provide a shop
Mhm.
owner to prompt those
Yeah.
results?
I would tell anybody listening to this that if you're not using AI language models like ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever your choice is as a way of brainstorming,
Brainstorming.
then
Yep.
yeah, then you're losing out on the power of having a massive knowledge base bring you perspective and fresh ideas that it would be very challenging for you or a group of 50 to come up with.
Yeah.
And it's just about asking questions and getting better about asking questions and knowing that when you're communicating with AI, you're not communicating with a real person. It's a machine. So it's okay to tell the machine, hey, stop. Okay, you're being weird. We're not really talking about that. Let's refocus. Want you to redo this. Looks like you got lazy. Like you have to be in command on one level,
Stop
but on
making up information.
stop making up information. I know that's not true. But the other piece is just asking really good questions. So you could ask a prompt like, I'm an auto repair shop owner, and here's my website. Look at my website and tell me what you think we are the best at in our local community. Might surprise you, but it will come back with a result and it'll do it really quickly and it will tell you, well, you're actually really good at this. And
Can
I
you
would start there.
and so I love adding the website as a reference website. Can we also add in, for example, our Google business page, Google business profile,
Mhm.
our Facebook profile, our Instagram, our Twitter? Twitter, what's in a X? Can
Yeah,
we add that as reference websites as
100%.
well?
Yeah, but you don't have to work that hard. You can just say, go out and look at all the social media channels that belong to me because they have
Oh,
your website address
yeah.
and come back and give me feedback on how I'm communicating what I'm really, really good at.
Oh, I love it.
And I would start there. And as it starts to feedback to you, it's going to create more questions. You're going to be like, oh, I didn't think about that. I have another question. Maybe you write 3 or 4 questions down on a piece of paper so you remember to get them in because it'll start moving pretty quickly. But
Oh,
it's
yeah.
all about brainstorming and it's all documented. So
Yeah.
then you can say, I want to make a copy of this so I can print it off and think about it and process it. And bam, you've got some really powerful tools there. And then you can say, okay, I agree with this. That really is our strength. That's what we're really, really good at. Who in my community matches with that? Who would be some people, some demographics of people that would match up with that? And we have a case where we know somebody did that, and the response came back teachers driving Subarus.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And this owner, she was smart enough to know, like, well, that would include firemen, military, and police too. And so that became her demographic profile. She knew their ages. She had a pretty good idea of their income, but then ChatGPT can refine that to what's the income brackets in our community for those professions. And you, okay, is it mostly female or male? Because that could change my marketing. Okay, what is things that we know they like? You don't have to make that up. You just ask the AI model. It'll give you some ideas.
Yeah.
Then we use this to go, okay, that's a little weird, but that is a really, really good idea.
Yeah, you
And
still
you
gotta
go
have
from
the
there.
human element in there to,
Yeah.
fact check, to qualify, quantify, make sure that
Yeah.
we're on target.
Yes. And just like the reference I was giving you, like teacher Subaru, that's great, but it got built on by saying right here, like, well, that's got to include police, military, and fire too.
Yeah.
And so I love that because that is truly brainstorming. Like my mind is just racing, and all these little sparks are coming out, and I'm thinking, wow, this is such a relief because it just feels so heavy and like I can't get past first base. And now I feel like I'm just hitting home runs. Boom, boom, boom every time. And that's how AI can help you be a better marketer and understanding fundamentally who is my customer that loves the problem I know I'm really good at fixing.
Oh, I love it. I love it, man. That's awesome. That just takes it to a next level. Now, and I have two questions that I want to ask.
Uh-huh.
One goes down the realm of, do we continue to do what we're doing in replying to Google reviews and whatnot? But before we get to that, I want to talk about AI being a draft one, draft two, draft three. Can I take that information that Google gives me and put it as a copy paste to use for my marketing?
No, no, just think about it as brainstormings. It's a conference room meeting. It's, internal documentation. And
Uh-huh.
then you want to go back and you want to put your human touch on it and your expertise. Like, you better have some expertise. Like, you don't want AI to tell you things about brake repair that you didn't know, or you're probably not an expert, right? So
Right.
use your expertise, but use it for that brainstorming to give you creative ideas that it's challenging to come up with when you're isolated either by yourself or a team, a small team. So, but no, don't ever copy paste. Don't ever put that stuff on your website. Like, this is legitimate content for the
Right.
search engine. That won't work. And
Okay.
definitely, you.
Go ahead.
Or I was going to say, definitely, like what we're seeing right now with AI. Um, 2 years ago, in an interview with ABC, you can go back and watch it. It was a 60-minute segment. They asked the president and CEO of Google about AI, and he essentially said, "We're so excited about where this is going, but we're nervous about rolling everything out. So what we're doing right now is we just have the baby out there.
Yes.
The adult's in the closet. The adult lives, exists, it's real. It's just in the closet because we're not sure about whether the public can handle it or not."
Oh,
That's
that's
mind blowing to me, but that just illustrates like they already have very complex models that are ready to go. And when those come out, there's additional expansion that we'll see with this technology. So it's very, very young, and we're just testing it. And the things that we're having, the experiences we're having are awesome.
they,
Freaking
they-
awesome.
yeah. Oh, they are. They are. And I love it as a draft one, draft two, draft three. Definitely don't use it in any marketing on the internet as far as websites. But what about emails? Can I use the AI to be able to send out emails? What, am I safe doing that, or does that get into a danger zone?
No, you're safe on that. And I'll
Okay.
give you a pro tip. Everybody watching this, don't tell your friends and neighbors or other shops or your group 25. This is just for you. But there is a thing called clickbait, and it's an old style where you wrote headlines that just grab people and they couldn't resist just clicking it. And you can go in and you can have AI help you write an email for a service or an offer you want to do. And then you can say, okay, write 50 clickbait type of headlines that will draw people in to read my email. And it'll give
Oh,
you 50 in about 2 seconds. And you can go through there and you can pick out the ones that you love and try a couple of them. Test half with half and test another headline with the other and see what happens.
well, and I've also done this, Dan. I've said, oh, all right, give me the top 50 subject lines that will entice people to open my email. And then I'll say, you know what, I like number 7 and 21
Mhm.
and 32. Combine those into one tantalizing email subject.
Okay, now I'm going to blow your mind, Jimmy, because if you really understand your customer and their demographics, like teachers
Uh-huh.
driving Subarus,
Yeah.
then you're going to know what kind of TV programming they like. Let's
Oh,
say, let's say Oprah. Then
yeah.
you say, give me a headline in the voice of Oprah.
Oh, that's funny. And you get a car, and you get a car. Oh. Hey,
Exactly. But
so
AI will design those headlines with a reading voice, which is legitimate. It's a real thing that will resonate with teachers who are educated, and it will draw them in. But they'll feel comfortable with that. They'll feel a connection with your headline.
oh, for sure. That's phenomenal. Okay, so now a question. This comes from Yvette, and thank you, Yvette, for this question. Is using Copilot just as good as using Gemini? And the second half of this is, does it matter which AI I use?
Yeah.
All
Well,
right.
I think AI is a preference. You got to find one that feels like jiving with you. But I feel pretty strongly into saying right now, the best AI model for chat and brainstorming is ChatGPT, the paid service. Um, I
What,
do
like 20
love,
bucks a month? I mean, it's
yes,
not that, is it 20?
exactly. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. I think you can get 5 users for 125, so maybe 21 or $22. Yeah,
Yeah.
but and
And
Gemini's great.
yeah.
I love how I'm doing searches, and a lot of times my informational type of search, like how does this really work? The Gemini is much easier, faster for a response and understanding than going into Chat GPT. But if I'm legitimately working on marketing and want to ferret out ideas for content or whatever I'm doing, I'm in Chat GPT and I'm working that thing. And I get great ideas from that. Some of the
Yeah.
ideas we're talking about today have helped been formulated by experimenting and doing that.
Oh, for sure. So my wife uses ChatGPT. She also uses Claude.
Mhm,
And she uses Claude because it does have a more human centric conversation.
mhm.
It seems like.
Is she using the voice?
I don't know that one.
Mhm.
So
So
she
that's
uses.
one of those that's coming that people are going to love.
Oh, I
It's,
know it's a great TV show called The Voice, but I
yeah,
didn't know it was an AI app.
yeah. That's for
Oh,
our next one. We'll talk
there's one
about
that
voice.
starts with a P. What's the one that starts with a
Mhm.
P? P.
I don't use that one, but it's like proximity or something.
Yeah. Yes, a lot of people are
AI link.
using this AI as the search. They don't go to Google anymore to search stuff. They go straight to an AI. So if I'm a shop owner, Dan, and I
Yeah.
want to make sure that I'm on top of things, um, how can I optimize my online presence so that the AI bots, assuming that's what's out there searching for information, how can I optimize my online presence so that I'm attractive to an AI?
Yeah. There's some of that that's still an unknown because there's not a lot of data that's available. But what it looks like to us is the stuff that you do for local search. So, good social media presence that you're tying in with your Google My Business and you're publishing SEO content on Google My Business, and your website supports local search. All of the back end metrics support local search, but then you have a page on your website that talks about community things, and you're building like this awareness around it. And the AI models, because of a lot of the formulation of these questions is like, who in this town does this, is going to look for those kind of content pieces.
Yeah.
And it's, this is the AI we're using right now. This model that we're using right now is not going back and using old data. It's doing a search right now in whatever everybody else is seeing, and it's coming back with information for you.
So the idea that everything from AI is 2 years old is
That's
not true anymore. It's all current now.
when you're in ChatGPT, you can tell it to do a live search or you can do it to use its regular model. So I would recommend using the live search and ask it for resources so you can validate the websites and the resources. You'll learn this stuff as you get going. If you're hearing this and you're like, man, I'm not sure where to start, the answer is just get started.
Yeah.
Just start doing some stuff and playing around with it and brainstorming and saying, I really want to know who my customer is. I really want to know what the internet thinks I'm really, really good at. I'm crossing my fingers that's true. And if not, I'm calling my marketing guy because we got to
Yeah.
fix some things.
So the
Right.
same questions you want to ask your marketing person, the same questions that you want to ask uh, in that marketing realm are the questions you can ask to a chat GPT. And now when you go to your marketing company, you'll have a much better conversation because you've already done the research and educated yourself
Yeah.
for those first steps.
Yeah.
Okay, so What are some of the I want to ask this question right because I'm thinking like I'm a shop owner. What are some of the things that I can do as a shop owner versus what are some of those things that I definitely need to hire out because it's going to take too long. I don't have the expertise. A marketing company would definitely do a better job at it than I would. Where's the separation there that says I can handle this, but I need to hire this?
Mhm. Well, a lot of the work that we do as an agency is, for example, we write content. So it's labor intensive. Now we're using tools and innovation like everybody else to get to the very best place, but it's a lot of work. It's akin to like, I know I got to chop this tree down, so I'm going to give my marketer the best tools possible so he can do it efficiently and give me the best results, which is to get that tree cut down. So if I give him a handsaw, I got to have reasonable expectations versus if I give him a chainsaw. And
Mm.
so, again, to our conversation, which is so critical today more than ever, what do I really fix and who is my best customer? I'm giving my marketing guy a chainsaw and he will go out, he'll create content. He knows how to fix the language on the backside of my website so it makes sense to the algorithms. He knows how to do this stuff and it's technical, it's hard work, and they can do this for me. For a small investment, I get this huge return and I empowered them efficiently because I gave them a chainsaw instead of a handsaw.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that definitely helps a lot. I'm seeing some comments here from Sheila Costa, Sheila
Mhm,
and Daniel Costa out of
mhm.
California. Gemini has not been that great in for them, which that's interesting that it's not working. They're using more Claude and Perplexity
Yeah,
for the
perplexity is the one we were trying to think of.
yeah, yeah. Thank you,
Way to
Sheila.
go, Constance. Yeah, good
Yeah.
job.
Yeah. So okay, back to the handsaw and the chainsaw. So, do we continue to answer all of our reviews? Do we continue to post on social media? Do we continue to do that type of activity, or do we let AI do that kind of activity?
Yeah. Right now we're in a weird time in the economy. I think there's a deficiency of trust, and it's almost like a trust recession. And reviews have always been like our solid foundation of like how we secure third party trust.
Mhm.
Um, and you don't want to do anything different with that. You want to keep going the way you've been doing. You want to get regular reviews, new reviews. You want to respond to those. You always ask questions like, hey, tell us about what we did and where you came from to do business with us. And not just that you loved us, but why? Was it the warranty or was it the loaner car or whatever? You definitely want all of those things. But I'm having a lot of thoughts and conversations with what else can we do to reestablish trust? Because I think reviews don't have the same kind of power that they had even 2 years ago. And AI is definitely a place where people have a lot of trust in it. We're seeing that. But what can I do to build trust in the community? And so that's a conversation for maybe another time. But definitely do reviews and definitely be asking yourself or brainstorming sessions with AI like, what else can I do to build my brand and trust? Because we know people are clicking and they're looking at your stuff, but they're not necessarily calling. There's a large percentage of them that don't call. And I think that's trust. That equates trust. How do I solve that? How do I fix that?
Yeah.
So that'll
Yeah,
be
and
different for everybody, but
and I like what Yvette said in here about using chat to summarize her Google reviews so she can get a sentiment of what her clients think of her or of her shop. Which,
100%.
and I think that's a great draft one. This is draft one, draft two,
Yep.
where you're getting that sentiment. And now I want to jump to John's question. So John's got a great question here. Why is it that I would want to have a single AI search on my website reviews to see the things that we're best at instead of just going to our customers? What do they think of us? Going to our old customers that come in and ask them, um, it seems like the human perspective would be much better than an AI perspective. What's your feedback on that, Dan?
I think as a business owner, you have to know, like, this is the problem we solve.
Yeah.
And going to your website is a way for you to say what I think the problem we solve and what the community and the internet space thinks. Are they a match?
I would love it.
And if they're
Yeah.
not a match, what do I do to get them to be a match? Because I'm unique because I can solve this problem.
Yeah.
I had a guy, he told me, he says, Dan, he says, we're really, really good at fixing transmissions in Porsches. This is called some PKT, or I don't know what it is.
Right.
But I was like, okay, that's something they're really, really good at fixing. And there's a place for them in the marketplace to get more of those. And they're profitable for them. So why not? Why not know that and then see if that's what you're communicating digitally? I do love the idea of going in and saying, look at all the reviews I have on Google and tell me, like, what is the sentiment? The sentiment being the emotion towards us. What are some things that they complain about the most? Is there maybe like 3 or 4 type of services that are commonly referred to as complaints? Brake repair, oil service. Oh boy, I got to fix those.
Right.
Right. And then the other one would be, what is it that customers think is really good about us and unique about us? And hopefully that matches up with what I think the I'm really good at fixing as a problem in our community that my competitor can't do that. Jimmy, how many of these guys ever tell you, like, oh, we get calls from people that have called other shops and they're just like, they can't fix this, but we can fix this. We get that car in and we do it.
Oh
These
yeah.
guys
All the
all the
time.
time.
All the time. They are known as the go-to in town because they can fix anything. Cars
Yeah.
talk to them. They're the go-to. I was talking to a shop the other day, and I'm trying to remember who it was. The car had been at 2 other shops. They had already spent $2,300, $2,800 at these other shops, and it finally brought it to him, and they were able to fix it very, very quickly.
It's amazing.
Because all this troubleshooting that they had done and all these parts plug and play didn't get to the problem. And these shops threw up their hands and were like, yeah, we don't know. Take it somewhere else. Oh, it's a paperweight. It's scrapyard.
Yeah.
That wasn't an option. They had to
Put
fix
that car down.
it. Yeah, put it down. Behind the shed. It's time for the
Yeah,
shed.
exactly.
Oh, man.
So hopefully
Yeah,
that
it
helps.
happens all the time. And it's scary. It's unfortunate that these shops aren't known for that they're not known as that go-to. And to John's question, by the way, John, thank you very much for your question.
Yeah,
I love the
question.
question. I love it because I think what Dan is suggesting here is using AI as the draft 1, draft 2. So you gain an understanding. You start with somewhat of a foundation. Now, as you're talking to your clients and your customers, you can ask them specifics about specific areas. Because if you ask clients and customers, what do they think about you or what do they think you're unique at, you might get deer in the headlights, like they don't know.
Yeah.
And they got to think. But if you're able to come in and say, according to the internet, they think we're really good in these areas, and you list out 4 or 5 different options. Which one do you think we're the best at?
Yeah.
Now you've given them options. They're going to be able to choose one. So using AI as a draft 1, draft 2 is a really good platform. Then introduce that human-centric side of things, which I agree, John, the human side, we want to connect with humans. The more we connect with humans, the better. Now to Sheila's question. Sheila, this is a great question, by the way. Is that related to SEO versus GEO transitioning that's happening now? SEO focuses on traditional search engines like Google, while GEO focuses on AI-driven search engines and platforms. It seems like eventually AI GEO will take over SEO and position itself like an authority when recommending business for our customers. Now, I'm not familiar with the term GEO. Maybe you are, Dan. I've heard SAO for search algorithm optimization, search artificial optimization. Are you familiar with this term?
Yes. A lot of marketers are talking about, like, it's not SEO anymore. It's search everywhere now, right?
Search
So
everything optimization.
yeah, exactly. Um, Search engines, this people are not going to change to something new until they get more comfortable with it and have more experiences. We don't really like change as human beings. So the search engines aren't really going anywhere, but everybody is racing on the AI stuff because they see what's coming around the corner. So we definitely are going to be experiencing um, AI driven local search results moving forward 100%. You count on that. The question is, what does it look like in a year or 2 years is really unknown.
Well,
Um,
and what it looks like 1 year from now is going to be different than 2 years and 3 years. It's
six
just
months
going to,
from now.
yeah, oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
going to evolve so quickly.
So it's a great question, but I would also just add to this kind of like this level of like find stuff that's working for you. You have to know that local search, when practiced right, is the same elements that AI is using in pulling out into search results. And we think that's a big reason why our clients are telling us they're being found in AI models.
And so when you're talking about local search, Dan, are you talking about the LSA, local search ads?
Nope. I'm talking about organic search, which is ranking a specific effort to rank better in Google Maps. Another way to think about this is mobile ranking. What do I
Okay.
do so that I rank on mobile devices that are based on proximity? How close am I, and how strong? Uh, yeah, prominence and how strong is my brand? So those factors. That's all local search. It's all mobile device driven. There's specific techniques that you apply. A lot of SEO companies don't do it because they think it's a bother, but it's the leading edge of taking us from mobile users having a great experience with Google Maps to the next thing, which is mobile users getting personalized, highly personalized returns based on their search and their behaviors based off of mobile devices.
All right. So now I have another question. Going down this idea, what about two different scenarios? One is a mobile tech,
Mhm.
and then second is MSOs, multiple shop operators. How does that local search affect? Let's go to the MSOs first. How does a local search? How can they set themselves up for success if they're a multiple shop operator? They've
Yeah,
got 2 shops, 3 shops, 10 shops, 21 shops. What's the best way for them to see success now here with this new AI model?
yeah. I'm not associated with this company, but I'm going to tell you this brand, Christian Brothers. If you go to their website, they're a perfect example of how they've taken multiple locations and they built one website around the model of promoting services and each one of those locations. And if you go in and you look at that, that'll probably answer a lot of questions for an owner that has multiple locations. What kind of website should I have? But the Christian Brothers website has what's called a domain authority, which is an internet scoring model that's over 45, and that totally blows away most auto repair shops. I've seen some of the best performing auto repair shops in the 20s.
Oh, wow.
So so just so you know, like it takes you to the new level. So yeah, I have multiple shops. I have a brand that's tied to all of those or an associated brand, but they're all on one website and I can see that structure. And
Interesting.
all of that works really well for AI.
Okay.
So that's how they would do that.
Well, and what about the mobile person, the mobile tech?
Yeah. Yeah.
So they don't have brick and mortar, but they probably have a radius of 20 miles that they might travel to
Mhm,
repair vehicles. How
mhm.
can a mobile tech optimize their online information?
There's a way to set up the business listing for guys that have a business location but don't publish it. So I work out of my home, but I don't want people to know where I'm at. And
Yeah.
you just set it up that way. Google does like mobile auto repair. It's a place that if you're doing that, will boost your rankings. So even if you're just a traditional shop with an address, but you do mobile repair, I would add that as a subcategory. It'll boost
Yeah.
your rankings. Um, those guys, I think what they have to do is they have to do more social media posts talking about their services, how they come to you, customer reviews in social media, and then similar type of posts that they do that. Um, I can't read that. I got to finish my
Oh, it
thought on.
says, I don't necessarily agree with AI telling people what to do, but I can't deny what's happening.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. That's just fascinating that people are going after AI first. So you were talking about mobile technicians. Google likes the mobile techs.
hmm
They like that convenience factor, and I think that's what's happening in that algorithm. Is Google is going for that convenience factor
hmm
of convenient for the client.
Yep. And so work on getting great reviews. When you're on the job, take pictures, post those on your Google business listing. Pictures are a huge thing. Reviews, obviously, as we've discussed. And then I would do Google posts that I could also share into social media. And the Google posts are going to be things like, hey, we are really good at oil service as much as we are like diagnostics on your vehicle, either in your office parking lot or your house.
Love it.
And that'll
Love it.
help the ranking system understand you better as a mobile place without maybe you don't even necessarily need a website. A website enhances that too, but
Well, and
definitely not a business location.
yeah, well, you don't need a business location, but I think the websites are still a necessity. You've got to have a website to be found. Well,
I'm
yeah,
seeing mobile guys
you
get away with not a website because
yeah,
the algorithm likes them. But look, if I'm a mobile guy and I'm busy, I'm good. But if I want to hire a couple guys and get a couple more techs out there, then you want to make sure you have a website. Like you build that foundation like everybody
yeah,
else has to, for
yeah.
sure.
You got to keep doing that.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to John's question here. Do you think that social media presence and trying to market to the AI on each of those platforms will be better, or staying on Google search engines? They're much different kinds of marketing. So is there a benefit to one versus the other?
I'm not sure I understand that. You know what he's saying?
Yeah. So do they? Is it more important to be active on your social media and your reviews, or which is optimizing it for AI, or do you stay with the Google and search engine optimizations?
Yeah. Years ago, Google had a thing called Google Plus, which was their social media attempt to compete with Facebook. I don't think they ever got rid of that algorithm. I think they use that in local search.
Uh,
So anything I do in social media seems to work. Like we can't really put our finger on why or what it's actually doing, but we see better performance when we do it that way. So that's why I think you use social media because it ties in with locals. It's this idea of community and groups and things that I like and where I live. And so I would definitely utilize social media with my Google Maps local search for
yeah,
sure.
this goes right back to your definition of SEO, which is search everything
Yeah,
optimization. Yeah,
yeah,
you really do need to focus on all of it. Make sure
yeah.
it's there. All right, Lance has a question here. Any recommendations on combining organic customer reviews versus shops that pay or discount to entice or encourage positive reviews?
Yeah, I'd stay away from that. That usually violates most of the review sites guidelines for the way you're supposed to put reviews up there. And discounts or enticing is a violation of Google's and for sure Yelp's. Yelp's will just close you down. Well, they won't close you down. They'll just make you like a one rating star.
Well, yeah, they'll take away all your reviews. And I've seen Google do that. I saw Google take a shop from 440 reviews down to 80
Yeah.
overnight because they were incentivizing
Mhm.
five-star reviews.
Yeah.
So it's not good.
I do have a tip for you though. Like if you're wondering, like, hey, I know this shop is intense, they're doing that, then use AI to say, AI, go read the reviews these guys have on Google My Business. And I want to know what the sentiment is. I want to know what the negative comments are. I want to kind of get an idea of like the underlining from the mass of data, crunch all that, mash it all up, give me something good. And we had a shop, we did that too. And the reviews came back that basically said, even though they were rated high, like a 5 score, the sentiment was negative. the sentiment was negative. And what we also saw was there was common words like rude,
Oh my word.
and it was tied to services like brake repair and oil service. So that gave me the power and our client the power to kind of like display like we're really good at this. We're really good at these things. You'll have a better experience with us. And we're not going to pay you to give us a review that doesn't really reflect the experience you had. So you
So
can
you got to be open to all reviews. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars. You need the full rainbow of flavors there, right?
yeah. Spam is a huge issue with reviews. Google's saying they want to fix it, but I don't think that problem ever goes away. But but agencies can definitely do this for you where they can go in and they can file complaints against that shop and identify specific reviews and hopefully get Google to take some kind of action. That's a lot of dang hard work, but it will generate some results, but the problem still doesn't go away. So it's much better to kind of tackle it another way, just to say, where are their weaknesses? And I'm going to market to that. And I might even run some Google ads. So I know somebody searching for brake repair is going to find me right up with that other guy. Like I'm going to start pulling away his lead source into me and start hurting his business because he's doing bad business practice anyway. And I'm better at fixing brakes. That's my thing. I fix brakes. I'm really good at that. That's the problem I solve, right?
Yeah.
So
Porsche brakes. I fix Porsche brakes better than anybody else. I
be
fix.
competitive and think that way. Like, okay, I'm
Yeah.
not going to try to go head to head, but I'm going to look for where they're weak and where I'm strong, and I'm just going to pull those people. I'm a stronger magnet. I'm a better place for them.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I can't believe how quickly this hour has flown, Dan. Phenomenal. So I want you to be thinking here. I'm going to go into a little bit of a commercial for the Institute, but then I want you to think, if you had a magic wand, what would you do in the automotive aftermarket? So I want to let everybody here know that Dan is coming to our Mars Intensive September 4, 5, 6 in Ogden, Utah. Ooh, I hope I have those dates right. September 4, 5, 6, Ogden, Utah. Mars is a marketing for the automotive repair shops. And this is an intensive. We're limiting the number of seats, so it's going to be a very good and intimate group. We're limiting the tickets to 40 tickets. The tickets just went on sale just the other day, and I think we've only got a few tickets that are sold so far. So those of you who are watching this that want to be here, you want to be here to ask questions, Dan, face to face. We're limiting the number of seats, so it is going to be a really, really, really good conversation at our Mars conference, our Mars Intensive. Marketing for repair shops. I'm so excited for it, Dan. It's just going to be an awesome event. We're going to have so much fun.
It's always the best, really.
Yeah, it is. All right. So, Dan, if you had a magic wand, what would you change in the automotive aftermarket?
Well, we want to change the thinking, and we want people to accept the fact that AI is here. It's not going anywhere. It's just going to be deeper and deeper water. So we're about to announce, but I'm just going to give you a tease that we have some AI tools that are going to empower shop owners to build a better marketing profile, and also some tools that'll sit on your website for better conversions that are all going to be AI driven. So you want to stay tuned for that, because this stuff is coming and you can be on the forefront of like utilizing that for more success, and it's not going away. And this is something that we can do right now to empower. So that's kind of cool. That's what I think is going to help the industry, because we can't keep doing what we're doing. And we got to stop thinking about the way we've thought about search engines 10 years ago, because nobody does that anymore.
Yeah.
We got to fix that. Fix that.
Definitely got to fix it. The future is bright, and we're here to be on that ride with you. So as we lock arms, we become greater together. As an industry, we can rise together. Yes. Not everybody's ship is built the same, but we're all in the same storm. And this storm is one crazy, wicked weather pattern that we just can't predict.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited for what's coming up and down the road. If you find this information fascinating and interesting, we at the Institute have partners like Dan that are going to be there to help you and your shop. We have programs for advisors, managers, owners with coaching, one-on-one coaching, as well as 20 groups of shop owners that are getting together and holding each other accountable. It's a higher level of understanding. It's a higher level of coaching and training. You want to advance yourself as quickly as possible to go from the face-to-face coaching on a one-on-one to a group environment. It'll just hockey stick your business. It's so much fun. So much fun.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dan. We're having a great time, brother. I can't believe how quickly that time has passed.
I know. There's a lot more we haven't even started on. Let's do it again.
I know we gotta schedule out our next webinar.
For sure.
Let's talk after here, and we'll get on the books here. Because man, every 3 months it's a new life cycle.
Yep.
Every 3 months for sure.
100%. 100%.
All right, brother. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here. Look forward to talking to you again here. And this week we have quite a few webinars, so hopefully you get to catch us a few times this week.
Yeah. Hope to see you soon.
See you soon. Thank you.
Bye-bye.